Hi, this is Dr. Kimberley Linert, and you're listening to Incredible Life Creator Podcast. My guest today is Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and I have had Mary Ellen on in the past, and she has a wonderful story about her journey through MS and finding truths and things like that. But welcome again to the podcast, Mary Ellen.
Well, thank you, Kimberly. It's such a blessing to be here with you and all your wonderful listeners.
Yeah, so I'm just going to give just a short bio of you so people know who you are. And then we're really here to talk about her new book that just came out.
Okay.
So Mary Ellen Ciganovich is an accomplished author, writer of All Truth of the Day posts, seen across social media, magazine editor, educator, mindfulness coach, and counselor. She also has her own podcast, Miracles with Mary Ellen and Mary Ellen's Miracle Moment, along with being a co-host of Words I Choose to Live By with Cyrus Webb. Mary Ellen is a successful blogger as well as an inspiring herself and others to be MS warriors. So let's talk about your book. I'm very excited about this new book. So what's the name of it? Give us a little summary.
Okay, well, the name of it is Truth Lives. Right here is that their beautiful cover on it. And I wanted to call it Truth Lives because truth does. It is the only thing that lives forever and ever and ever, except for unconditional love. And unconditional love is truth. So we're talking about virtually the same thing. And I wanted to write it right now. Well, I don't write any of my books, Kimberly, like I've told you before. God writes these books. I hear these words and I write them down. And I've just been the blessed person to write them down. And right now, our society needs these truths. We need to learn how to think differently. We need to learn how to speak differently to each other, to encourage, uplift, and motivate each other instead of all this negativity all around us. And because the more you buy into the negative picture, what are you doing? You're pouring gasoline on a fire. You're creating more and more negativity instead of always creating more and more good things and loving things. And I just love, I put 120 truths in here, 120 because to last you the first 4 months of the year. Mm-hmm. And then between the truths, there's a separating page, like after 30, page 31 is going to be a big page of just like that. And then the other truths are written out. And I did that. Number one, there were going to be 2 more books in this series because it's going to be enough for a whole year. But I wanted to go ahead and get people started on 2022, living and thinking differently. And it's just such a blessing that I found this cover. And there's a whole story behind the cover of Truth Lives. Can I go ahead with it?
Yes, please.
And it's a beautiful inspirational story of how social media can help you for the good. There is a gentleman on social media called Dino Corbetta, and he is a famous painter of beautiful Christian artworks. And he does paintings of, my husband and I have been so blessed to have been to Venice and Positano, all these beautiful places in Italy. And I was also raised Catholic, although I'm not quite there anymore. I'm more spiritual anyway. And he also did a lot of the Catholic paintings. And so we connected over social media. And before I did my last book, Healing Words, I asked him, I said, Mr. Corbetta, because he was following my truths of the day and I was following his paintings. And so we kind of knew what kind of people we were. And then his parents live right here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is where I am. And he lives in Atlanta, where I was raised. So we had that in common. So I asked him for my last book, and he said, well, I've never done a book cover before. Ask me before you do your next one. So before I started writing Truth Lives, I started looking at his paintings, and he sells his paintings on Etsy. So I was looking through the paintings, and I saw this beautiful picture of just the dove, and of course it didn't have the title on it. It was just a dove flying in this beautiful magical sky. And so I fell in love with the painting. And then the name of the painting is Let Us Begin Again. And that's exactly what I wanted Truth Lives to be about. Let us all begin again in 2022 to live with kindness and love and come together for healing and uplift each other. So between the painting and the words inside, I don't think you can go wrong.
Beautiful. So is it something where you would read one truth a day, and how do you use the book?
Well, you can use them in order. Like I said, there are 120 truths, and you can use them in order if you want to. You can also just open the book in the morning or in the evening and read one, and keep it with you all day the next day as you go through your day, and read it again to see what you learned about it. Because what I want people to do is to read the truth, whatever truth it is. Like this one right here, I just turned to, is let go of judgments. I would like for them to read that page and then sit back and think, do I judge? Can I let go of my judgments? How can I alter my thinking to now let go of any judgments that I have? Because all of us, most people, when they see it, they'll go, oh, she's judging me. She's judging me. Well, if you're seeing that on that level, then yeah, they might be judging you. That's true. And why are you seeing it that way? Why is it hooking you so bad? It's hooking you because you're the one that actually is doing the judging, not the other person. So I want people to really read these and think about them. And, they might have to read them 1 or 2 times. I had a client of mine, Erica in Kansas. She liked the book so much that she had it around the house, and her husband picked it up, and he started reading it, and she had to buy another copy. And so now they're going to begin 2022 with both of my books and sitting down, and one of them's going to read one day, and they're going to talk about it, and one of them's going to read the next page the next day, and it's a really good way for couples to have time together and really have quality time. Hey, what do you think Mary Ellen meant by this? Or what do you think God meant by this? Because like I said, I didn't really write these, God did. What do you think these words mean? How can we use these words in our relationship to be better?
Yeah. And as you're talking about that, I'm thinking, it would be great to have, if it's not a husband or wife, an accountability partner, or even a little, I don't know if you'd call it a book club, but a little, get together of people who are going through the book, who are checking in with each other maybe once a week and saying, okay, how are you doing with this? And what insights are you getting? Because I'm sure when one person reads it, they're going to get a totally different insight and different way of implementing than someone else would.
Oh, yeah. And I have several clients right now, but one client in particular that I'm thinking of. And when the book came, I always think of exercises to do the next day with my clients. And I thought, well, I'll use my book. I'll just do the first 3. So we were reading the first 3 truths a day. Or we would read one and we'd talk about it, and we'd read one and we'd talk about it. And it's going really well. And, I just thought, why should I pay money to buy somebody else's book? I could use mine.
Exactly. And let's just talk about truth. What is truth?
Okay. That's a question I get asked all the time. People misuse the word truth. Most of the time when people use truth, they're using it as a fact. Okay. Like I could say, right now in Tennessee, it's dark. It's nighttime. Okay. That is not a truth. It's a fact, because that's happening right now. It's not going to be dark in Tennessee forever. For it to be a truth, it has to be something like, what you focus on expands, what you think about happens. That is a truth. God is, that is a truth. I am a child of God. Even the fact, if I say it about myself, I am a blonde lady, that's not a truth, because I could go get another box of hair color and change my hair. I mean, a truth has to be something that is immutable. It will not change. And people use the word truth. They just throw it around and say, well, the truth is. No, your opinion is. The way you see it is, and I try to teach couples to talk to each other using language that's communication, like what I need for me from you is, so that you own that communication. because a truth just is. A truth is no judgments, no expectations, no motive, total unconditional love. There's no fear in it. It's all pure. It's purely what Christ came to teach us. And we're not listening. Sorry.
That or else, yeah, we're not listening, or we're changing it to be in line with what we want things to be.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, Kimberly. And that is what everyone does with their life. They're like, well, it might be this way. I'm going to bend it a little bit because I feel more comfortable over here. Well, and Buddha said it best, truth is bitter in the mouth and sweet. I'm sorry. Lies are sweet in the mouth and bitter in the belly. Truth is bitter in the mouth and sweet in the belly. That's what it is. Because when you tell somebody, let's say I go get a haircut and it's a really bad haircut, but my girlfriend goes, oh, it's so cute on you. But it looks like, what I'm talking about, and you go home and go, how could my girlfriend say that? Because in your truth, in your core, that was a lie. Your truth in your knowings. Your ego right here, your belief, your mind is what leads you astray. Your ego always includes a doubt, and a doubt will keep you stuck in that house of unawareness all the time.
So most people, no matter who they are, where they're from, they want to have a peaceful life. They want to have a happy life. They want to have a life of meaning, of fulfillment. And how does applying these truths help that come true for them?
You can have a peaceful, truthful life when you really use these truths and work at them. And it's not easy. I mean, when I started learning all of these things, of course, God puts things in your way. Okay, you know this truth now, Mary Ellen, let me see if you can use it. And so he puts this thing in your way and you go, okay. And anytime you're not using it, people go along happy-go-lucky, whatever. And all of a sudden they fall in that hole in the sidewalk, or they have a little fender bender, or this happened or that. There are no accidents in the world, people. God is trying to wake you up, okay? Or they'll say, well, that relationship's not good, so I'm going to leave and find another relationship that'll make me better. Well, if you're not better before the relationship, you're not going to be better in the relationship, because it doesn't work like that. If you don't love yourself first, you can't give or find love in anyone else, because that relationship is a mirror for you. You have to, and so in a group, like a lot of times I'll have a relationship workshop. And so I'll ask the clients, I said, okay, write down the characteristics you want to find in another person. And I'll give them about 5-10 minutes, and they'll write down like financially secure, handsome, well-dressed, whatever they want. And I'll look at them and I'll say, okay, look at those characteristics. Are you those characteristics that you just wrote down? Are you financially secure? Are you physically fit? Do you eat right? Are you neat and tidy? You become those characteristics, and that relationship will be in your life like magic.
Exactly. We attract what we are.
Exactly. And it's just like, what you focus on expands. What you think about happens. It's just like, for me, if I was to dwell on my MS, I can make it worse and worse and worse. I don't want to do that. That wouldn't be a good thing. So I work with it, and I have my own ways that I use to keep myself healthy.
So can you share any examples of either your life or people you've worked with where when they were kind of unaware of the truths and then they started applying the truth and what changes they saw?
Oh, tons of examples. I mean, people who have come to me, oh, she left me, going through a horrible divorce, and it'll be horrible on the kids. And then they wake up to become the characteristics they seek, and they find the next person. And since they're already whole, when they attract that other whole person, then you can come together in peace. And if you're okay with the divorce, the kids will be okay with the divorce. it's all a mirror image for everything. It's like I do parenting articles and parenting workshops, and I'll have a lot of parents say, well, I want my kids to respect me. And I'll say, well, do you respect yourself? You know, you have to teach respect by showing respect. And if you don't respect yourself, how can you teach it to someone else? So I teach them how to respect themselves and how to speak with their children or even teenagers to then have a symbiotic parent-child relationship that can be uplifting. You know, I don't usually give client, not, of course, not by names because it's just confidential, but it's been very rewarding. When this book came out, I had people reaching me from England and Germany. I've had people reach me from all over the world and probably every state in the United States about both my last two books. So, you know, it's been interesting, and I keep myself grounded because I know that's not me. That's God. That's my core. That's not my little ego, Mary Ellen here. My daddy always had a phrase. I'd come in and I'd say, oh, Daddy, I made varsity cheerleading. And he'd go, good, Mary Ellen, that and $1 will get you a cup of coffee. So now when something happens with my book, like when it came out on Thanksgiving Day, I was so excited. I could hear my daddy going, good, Mary Ellen, that and $1 will get you a cup of coffee. Okay, Dad, I believe it. Because you have to keep yourself grounded, because it's not, I'm doing what God wants me to do while I'm here on this earth. And these words will live on much longer than I will. And that's what I want to bring to our world.
I love that. And that's one of your ways of leaving a legacy.
I taught middle school for about 15 years. And I used to tell my 7th or 8th graders, you know, do what you love to do and the money will come. And just leave the world a little bit better than when you came.
Love that. So if people wanted to get your book, where do they find it?
Well, it's on Amazon.com. All 3 of them are. There is Truth Lives. There is the one with the peacock on it. Truth, Taking Responsibility, Unleashes True Healing. I should tell you my story, the peacock. And of Healing Words, Life Lessons to Inspire. All 3 are on Amazon, or you can go through my website at askmaryellen.com. It's real simple. I have my videos there. My blogs are there. Links to all my books. It makes a great gift, and especially makes a great gift for yourself to begin the 2022 correctly.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your new book. It's so exciting, and I encourage everybody to go and get their copy and have it ready for 2022.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Kimberly. Thank you so much. Have blessings. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
All right. Talk to you soon, Mary Ellen.
Okay, bye-bye.